question.
Well, it's not 11, that's fast.
Are we ready to begin? Good afternoon. My name is Joseph Mayer and I'm counsel to the Broome County Industrial Development Agency. The agency is conducting this hearing pursuant to General Municipal Law, Section 859A, to seek public comment on an application for financial assistance submitted by UB Family LLC in connection with a proposed 5-story, 120 new market rate apartment building, including 1 and 2 bedroom housing units, as well as 6 workforce apartments, to be called the Arabella at Water Street, which is to be built above a new 5-level municipal garage, which garage is to be owned by the Binghamton Local Development Corporation on a 0.91 plus or minus acre parcel of land located at 183 Water Street in the city of Binghamton, county of Broome, and state of New York. The acceptance of the filing by the agency does not infer any position on the approval or disapproval of the financial assistance requested. No position will be taken by the agency until the public hearing is concluded. A copy of the application, along with a cost-benefit analysis prepared by the agency, is available for your review at the office of the agency during regular business hours. Notice of this hearing was published in the Press and Sun Bulletin on July 2nd, 2023. I request that each person wishing to speak state his or her name, and if you're speaking on behalf of an entity or organization, please identify that entity or organization. Please limit your remarks to 5 minutes. The hearing will remain open until all public comment is concluded. First, I'm going to ask Natalie Abadessa from the agency to explain the benefits that have been requested by UB Family LLC.
Thank you, Joe. The United Group, based in Troy, New York, is a substantial real estate development and management company with 50+ years of successful experience. It has established a new entity to develop, own, and operate the new Water Street apartment project. The new entity is UB Family LLC. The apartments are part of the overall Water Street garage redevelopment project in the city of Binghamton. The total project includes the demolition of the existing Water Street garage while maintaining a portion over the Boscov's department store men's department and constructing a new modern public garage, which the Water Street Development Corporation will own. UB Family LLC will construct the apartments above the garage with site control established through a long-term air rights lease agreement with the city of Binghamton. United has formed a joint venture with the pipe companies to construct and develop the garage portion of the project. United Pipe has entered into a development agreement with the city. The garage will be developed as a standalone project in coordination with the apartment project. The proposed project for this important site in the heart of the city will replace the dilapidated garage, create new market rate apartments, and provide significant financial benefits. There will be 486 parking spaces, 120 new apartments, 6 of those apartments being workforce. It will generate new property taxes, and $1 million in air right payments will be paid to the city of Binghamton. The new municipal garage will serve residents, businesses, and visitors and support Boscov's continuing success as a critical driver of downtown retail activity. The apartments will attract a millennial and boomer resident base. The air rights and new property taxes represent new revenue to the city that would not otherwise be available. United will be a new business stakeholder in Binghamton as the owner of the apartments, which will be managed by its award-winning property management company, United Plus Property Management LLC. UB Family LLC is requesting a property tax exemption in an amount not to exceed $11,595,622, a sales and use tax exemption in an amount not to exceed $1,152,280, and a mortgage recording tax exemption, an amount of $242,200. The Binghamton City School District will receive $2,093,684 in new tax revenue over the life of the pilot. Broome County will receive $437,630 in new tax revenue over the life of the pilot. And the city of Binghamton will receive $1,948,112 in new tax revenue over the life of the pilot, while also receiving $1 million in air right payments. This project will create 4 new jobs.
Thank you, Natalie. John, I guess it's all yours.
Okay. John Solak, Binghamton, New York. This is a project that's destined for bankruptcy if I ever saw one. Destined. The consultant was very telling. That was not a favorable opinion by the consultant. And normally it's quite wishy-washy. But I think I give him credit. This is all risk, all risk. No reward. And if it backfires, just wait, just wait. Who can afford these rents? Boomers and millennials. Well, if you're gonna pay $2,800, which figure was bandied about as the top rent, you can live anywhere in the city. And you're certainly not gonna live downtown. You know, when nobody lived in the city except, on Pine and Viet, Binghamton Housing Authority type people, there was a lot to do. There's nothing to do. These bars don't open up. They're a weekend deal when school's in session. The businessman's lunch is a thing of the past. There's nothing to do down. This whole concept is long in the tooth. And it's not a growth opportunity. There's absolutely no compelling reason to live downtown. Now, to the lucky few that get the so-called workforce apartments, that might be a good deal to live in a $500,000-$700,000 unit for a couple of bucks a month. That's a great deal, Count me in on that one. But at the end of the day, and I've said this before, I used to have functions at the Treadway Inn. And they used to run late at night, and I used to go home. I used to count the money and go home. One night in particular, I stayed at the Treadway Inn, and this was when it was brand new. And I wasn't drunk. I could have went home, but I just decided to stay. I was paying for the room, so when I woke up, and I still remember it to this day, and I opened up those vinyl blinds and looked out my window. It was the most depressing morning that I've ever had. I mean, it was just depressing. It was one thing to go down and have a highball or have a steak. It was a terrible place to wake up in the morning. I remember it. Never did it again. And I was a naive 19 years old, maybe 18. So this is a bad deal. People are going to run away from it. Now let's talk about Pike development. What did they promise in the last few years? Well, they promised a mixed-use project and a parking ramp. And what happened with that? Well, the mixed use was never happened. And the parking ramp was $3 million more than the mixed use project. And I remember those artist renderings from Pike development. I remember the Starbucks logo on those artist renderings. Never happened. So they don't have a good track record in this city. There's so many worthwhile projects, and they could happen, and it's not going to happen. And if you compare, let me tell you, if you compare what's up, which is the DoubleTree, it's up, it's standing, it's in business. If you compare that with this project, you'll see the fallacy of this project, because you walk $5 million, you could buy the DoubleTree with a whole lot of change. So that is what happens in this city. This is an abuse of everything I've ever heard. And the last time that I heard of new and innovative things coming out of the IDA was the Good Shepherd Village project, and we know what happened there. So, and the city can't be naive. When this comes apart, no matter how you Water Street development, no matter how much you slice that one up, the city is going to be on the hook for this because already they're paying interest on the project. One last thing, where's Boscov in all this? And number two, you know, there's not even a written statement, is there, from these developers? They're not even here. So who's representing the developers? You know, I mean, that was I didn't find any qualm. It was that Natalie read the statement, but it wasn't a statement that was neutral. It was a statement that might have come from the developer. So if people want a 25 and 28-year tax break and don't even show up to put their project on the record, I think that is grounds to turn it down right now, right here, when the IDA board, because this is the public hearing, this is where you put it on the record. I'm here taking up my valuable time. It's a hot, miserable day, and I'm trying to run up the bill so that the stenographer makes a living wage. And that's an old trick that he's familiar with. I bet you he knows every lawyer in town that does that trick, huh? Okay, that's it for me. Good day.
Thank you, John. Let the record reflect that we have no other attendees other than Mr. Solak. And again, I'll thank him for his remarks. And I'll note that it is now 5:16. And I will draw this hearing to a conclusion, and I would ask that the stenographer spread upon the record of this proceeding, the notice of public hearing, affidavit of publication, the letter to the taxing authorities, the affidavit of mailing, and affidavit of posting, which I will provide to them. That said, this matter is now concluded.